This is the Oakwyn Podcast, featuring Morgan Browne and Michael Yu.
Hello, welcome back to the Oakwyn Podcast. I am Morgan Browne.
Michael Yu.
And I'm the Podfather.
And this is a special episode.
I cannot believe it.
What's the 100th song? Is there a 100 song? Like 100, I don't know.
So this is the 100th episode.
So 100 bottles of beer on the wall.
We're going to just do that.
100 bottles of beer.
Take one down, pass it around.
100
bottles of beer on the wall. Okay, and then that's the rest of the whole podcast.
Okay, we're done. Well, guys, 100 episodes. We are so happy.
I know, I can't believe it.
This is special.
Jeez, we've hit the 3 digits.
You know what? And today we're just gonna have some fun today. I think we're gonna play a game called Swoon.
Okay. We're gonna hang up. I have no idea what that is.
So
no
obviously, first of all, let's just say a big thank you to all the people that have been listening to us.
Yeah.
Right. And
a huge thank you. We're just we're blown away by the response, and we're just really like.
The feedback.
Yeah, the feedback. And, we're just so happy that we get to do this podcast with, with each other, but also that to have you guys listen, it means a lot. And it's so fun to connect with you guys as well. So thank you so much for listening to the podcast.
And for the people that are at Oakwyn, thank you for being our number one supporters as well.
Totally.
You guys, you do get to see us more than most people get to hear us on the podcast. So thank you for keep on giving us those really great tips of what we should be covering. And that is true. But the last thank you is to the Podfather.
Yeah, thank you to the Podfather.
Because you made this happen, Podfather.
I guess so. It's not my words. It's your guys' words here.
But the editing, everything is so awesome. And we just want to thank you.
Oh,
Brayden.
Brayden is the foundation of this podcast that it sits on. So thank you so much, Brayden, for everything you do. It means a lot to us.
Happy to be here.
Okay.
So we're gonna dive into. Some people know us. Let's get personal in our 100.
Okay,
episode.
sure, yeah.
So this is actually a game that my brother's friend made. It's called Swoon. It's the dating game. I actually mentioned this a little bit about my team, and I thought that I'd bring it as a kind of a fun tidbit.
Okay. So how do you play the game?
You just there's just like a pick up a card and get to know you people.
For those of you that are listening, it looks like a deck of cards, everyone. So Morgan's shuffling. She looks like a dealer. She looks like
I'm Robin Barden, the dealer.
Yeah. Wow.
He's in some sort of hot country. He's in some sort of hot country right now.
Oh yeah.
Everybody.
I know, traveling. That's good. Yeah.
Traveling.
I know.
Yeah. I don't think I'll be here for New Year's next year. I think I'm gone.
Yeah. Where would you like to go?
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go to the Bahamas.
Oh, wow.
Maybe.
Huh.
Maybe. I don't know.
Cool.
Maybe Mauritius. Who knows?
Oh,
New Year's? Okay. So let's talk about, I'm going to pick one of them. It'll just be a quick, just answer really quickly. Not like it's like a fast, quick.
Okay. So it's like lightning round.
Yes. Okay. Here we go. Okay. What do you consider the greatest accomplishment of your life?
How do you do that fast?
That's not
you can't do that lightning round. Greatest song, Soph.
Okay. Now
this business.
Okay, I love it.
No, you have to answer too.
Me?
Yeah.
My biggest accomplishment in my life. I think just like personal love.
Good.
Just loving myself is very important. You have to love yourself to love others. That's why I think
it's very wholesome.
My kids are gonna love themselves because I love myself. Anyway.
A little too much.
Okay, what is the coolest scar you have, and how did you get it?
So you can't do these fast.
No, you don't have to do them fast.
Okay.
This is a very hard one. The biggest accomplishment could be so many things.
Yeah, that could be so many things, but it's hard to kind of.
Okay, I think it could be your kids. I think it could be your business. I think Oakwyn is a big accomplishment for us.
Oh yeah, for
huge
us together,
for us.
Yeah, for sure. That's probably the biggest accomplishment.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
That's a huge accomplishment. We have to help some people. Okay, so what is the coolest scar you have, and how did you get it? Brayden, you're first.
Me, I've got a big scar on my shoulder from one time I was riding my bike, and then I hit a bump, and then I looked down at my wheel had fallen off. So I landed. I knocked myself out. Woke up to some other kids helping me put my bike back together, and I got a huge scar on my shoulder, and that's my biggest scar.
Oh.
Mine is I have a surgery scar on my ankle. Quick story. So I have my friends are huge nerds. No one is an athlete. Everyone's a loser. And so we were drinking beers over over a holiday. And we're basically the four of us. None of us are athletic at all, but we decided to have an Olympics to see who was the most athletic of this ragtag group of unathletic people. So one of the first thing was a race, and so like the first event that we had we called it like a Man Olympics or whatever, was a foot race. And of course, I shattered my ankle in the foot race. The first event.
How did you do that?
How heavy were you?
I was heavy. And I shattered my ankle and basically, and it still hurts.
Did you step in a gopher hole?
I don't know. It was on a track, and I was just like, I'm not a runner, and so basically, I have a scar to remind me, like you're not good.
You're not athletic, Mike.
Not athletic. So yeah, that's what my big scar is. What's
That's
yours?
so funny. Mine's I took my brother's dirt bike. I used to live in Southlands, and my brother had this mini dirt bike, and no one was at the house. And I was like, I'm just going to go for a ride on the dirt bike.
Uh-huh.
And my dad used to have these hills in the backyard, and I was like, oh, I'll just go around and around the dirt bike field, and I did that, and then I was like, oh, go over one more, and I just like gunned it,
Right.
and I gunned it, and I went flying.
Wow.
I was like 13, and no one was home, and it landed on with the accelerator full forward, and my leg was on the tire.
Oh wow!
So it was going shh, and I was like, and I turned it off, and then I screamed all around the neighborhood. And now I still have a scar.
Wow.
You'll never be a leg model.
That was a bad one. I was going to say, do you want kids? Okay. What's one fear you know is holding you back? Ooh.
These are deep, man. Swoon.
Swoon. What's one thing? Okay, you go.
Fear holding me back.
What's one thing?
Clowns, no. Fear holding me back. Oh man.
What's one fear that's holding you back? And from what? What's it holding you back from, Mike?
I think it, not to get too
deep?
this is a deep question.
It's deep. It's called personal
I think it's
reflection.
probably like my daddy issues.
Daddy issues, real daddy issues.
I have real daddy issues. And like it's I don't want to get too complex, but my relationship with my dad was like,
complicated.
very complicated.
Yeah.
And and it has affected me greatly. I think mostly in the positive, but there has been things that I'm trying to work through as well. So that's probably the biggest fear that's holding me back. And I have a very this is like super personal, but everyone was telling me, so we didn't know the gender of Soph.
I know.
And a lot of people were saying, I think it's going to be a boy. I think it's going to be a boy. And secretly, I was actually very, very scared to have a son. Because I don't I was like, how am I going to relate to this?
To a boy.
And so I was actually very kind of.
Do you still feel that now? Now that you have a baby, because now that you know that you're
Soph is a little baby girl, so her and I have we have the best relationship, and in my opinion, I don't know, my relationship with her is great. I don't know if her relationship with me is good, but my relationship with her is just amazing. I'm just so thrilled to see her every day. We play.
But do you think that you'd have?
I don't know. That's the thing. Maybe that's where the healing might come.
Yes.
But I'm not.
Oh, that's a cool opportunity.
But I'm not.
That's cool.
Sure. But I'm so I was so glad that we had a daughter. I was just.
You were really glad. He was having anxiety.
I was having anxiety.
Yeah, Mike was having I would be like, oh, you're having a boy, and then he was like, freak out.
I was freaking out.
Yeah, he was freaking out. But I think.
Yeah, so that's
you
my
were meant to
fear.
to have a growing.
Okay, fears. Someone
your
else
fear?
other than me.
Me? I'm trying to think about this. I think
what's holding you back?
You know what I was thinking about the other day is that I have this tendency to look with my kids anyway, or with everything in life, to look 3-4 steps ahead, and I think that it causes me to be a worse parent to my kids because I'm constantly trying to be like, oh, well, don't do that because you could get hurt doing this.
Yes.
Or, don't do that because you're going to annoy this person doing that. And like, I have to like, and it's holding me back from being a good father because I'm not like letting go and letting them be their, yeah, just
be themselves.
And that's something that I've kind of trying to work on, but that's definitely, that's the only thing I can think of that's like holding me back in kind of my life right now.
Holding you back.
How about you, Morgan?
Self-doubt. I think that's helping me really. That's what's really holding me back. I think people think I'm like this courageous, strong, like women, but I think that's what I think too. Yeah, I'm like, I do have a lot of like, self-love and stuff like that for myself, but I do get myself, like, I think that's what's holding me back from being like illuminating to another level. That's it. And I think that comes from a lot of stuff that you know about, just past stuff. And I think that I'm just trying to work that out. Just trying to work out why I immediately think like I'm not good enough for that. So I got to figure that out before myself figures out. That's really low. Okay, let's keep it going. What are you most excited about right now in life?
Most excited about?
Yeah, what are you most excited about in your life right now?
Well, yeah, it's just like a lot of being a dad. So, yeah.
What about you?
Me?
What are you excited about right now?
Getting back into, I'm going to try and get back into making more music.
Sweet.
So synthesizers, that's what I'm most excited about right now. I got new synths.
Oh my God, that's amazing. What am I excited about? I'm excited about sleep training. And
that's huge.
And going and creating a new space and a new home memories for in my house, which I'm very excited for.
Sweet.
Pumped. Okay. I'll just do one more and then we can just shoot the wind.
This is good.
Okay. On the scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you?
Me?
Yeah.
9.5.
Wow.
I'd say I'm probably somewhere on an 8.
Yeah. I'm always like 11.5. I'm a happy person. Even when things are shitty, I still okay. What do you love to do the next morning? It says spicy, so it means like after sex.
Oh.
let's just reframe that. What do you love to do every morning?
What do I love to do every morning?
Every morning.
I gotta have my coffee.
Yeah, me too.
I don't actually.
Me too.
I don't actually like even know who I am until I have my first sip of coffee, and then afterwards I'm like, I remember now.
Yeah, me too. I think I love coffee in the morning. I go right down there.
Yeah, that's like the first thing I do. Like if I don't have that, it's just like I don't even know who I am.
I don't know how people that don't drink coffee, like Donovan from my team drinks tea.
Okay,
and he doesn't really drink.
You can have
tea.
the same experience.
I don't know. Right? It's a different experience altogether. Coffee and tea are different. Mm-hmm. Oh, this is a good one. What advice would you give your younger self?
Yeah, I think it was. What advice would I give my younger self?
From where you are now. That's a good way of putting it.
Mm-hmm. I think it's really cliche, but to be more bold, to be trusting of myself and be more bold, because I tend to play on the safe side, and I'm a very kind of safe person. So like being a little bit less safe, being more bold, courageous,
or find bold people.
Yeah,
because like some people just can't change their own Mm-hmm. You just got to figure out where that substance should go.
Yeah,
I don't know. What about you?
And me?
Younger self.
I would tell myself you don't need to be an effing rock star. Like you don't need to be the person in front of the camera, because sometimes it's better. It can be better. It can be more fulfilling, and it can also be more profitable to be the person behind the camera. Mm-hmm. And I always thought I had to be on stage in a band, and that's not really. Took me a long time to figure out I didn't need to do that to be happy.
Yeah, I love that.
Okay, younger self, Morgan Browne.
I would say you don't need to have like tons of people around you. You just need like a core group. Because I think that's what makes you like. I don't need to have like 250 people liking you, and you don't need to be like the star attraction. You just need to have like 10 or 5 or 10 people that are just going to believe in you.
That's very prolific. I think, they always say like, on like deathbed stuff, but they always say that like you only think about your relationships. Like that's the only thing you really kind of like miss?
You know what's weird? This Christmas,
Yeah.
I thought about that a lot. I was like thinking about you a lot. I was thinking about how I missed you. I was thinking about how I didn't think that about Arlene. That's weird.
Well, that's honest.
Well, we can cut that.
Okay, Arlene, I see you too much. But my sister and brother-in-law, they just moved to Osoyoos.
Yeah.
I scheduled a like monthly Zoom call with my kids with them.
Oh, cool.
I reached out to my sister, made some amends myself.
Oh, you mended the fence with Tara.
I did.
Okay, tell me about that.
Yeah, I just was having like a day. I was like, you know what? Like, you can either be like, I actually asked myself, like, are you a coward? Like, or is this about you? Like, you know, like, do you have to make, you know, I truly believe that, you know, like just assuming things about other people or just like, you know, like making like predictions of other people is quite a selfish act. Like really, like it's really that it's basically saying like it's about me. It's only about me. And it's not about me. It's not about me all the time. It's, you know, it has never been really about me. It's about the other person, what they're going through, what they're feeling, whatever it is. So I just like, I haven't talked to my sister for 3 years, guys. We had a really big kind of following out with our family and everything. And I was very hurt because she never reached out to me during my children being born, and I was really upset, and I kept on adding to this tower of hurt that constantly came up in my head. And just like it was about, I think it was a day after Christmas, and I was like, you know, this is insane. Like, I can't believe I'm being like this. I don't need to be best friends with her. I don't need to be, you know, sidekicks with her, but I do need to have some, you know, I need to do that. And it might not be, she'll never, it was like, I was wanting the older sister to take ownership of what she's created for me. But then at the same time, if I requested that type of need from her, it would be exactly what I didn't want, which is her not treating me as an equal. I always was like, you treat me like a little sister. I'm always your little sister. And so it kind of was like counteractive. And I was like, this doesn't make sense. So I was like, either I become the commander or I become I'm the coward, and I'm the commander. So I led with my heart, and I just reached out. Wow. I wrote out, I texted her. I said, hey, can we Zoom? And she's like, sure. Yeah, Morgan, let's Zoom. And then we got on our Zoom, and I made a point to just like really, you know, just talk about our children, talk about her. She just had twin boys. I've never met her. I haven't talked to her for 3 years. And I just kind of talked about her children, and I talked about how she was after birth and postpartum and, you know, everything like that. And it was really a good conversation.
Yeah. How do you feel now?
I feel complete. I feel like I'm really in a good space with her. And I think that, yeah, you just don't choose your next day. You know, I think you want to be around people that you love. And I don't think I have to be around her all the time, but I do love her. We just don't see each other all the time. And that's as simple as that. Yeah. Like that's it.
That is very mature of you. And I think you should be really proud of that, actually, to kind of take those positive steps to, you know, restoring relationships. I think have so much like that's what life's about. You know, is to, you know, have just have this positive impact or kind of just, that's the rewarding part of life.
I think expectations really hurt you, you know, over time.
Yeah.
You know, like expectations of yourself.
Right.
You know, like, I mean, I would say, you know, I was like thinking to myself, oh, I wish I got to spend more time with Soph. Like, because in my mind, I thought, oh, like me and Mike will just be these bosses that will have like our children. And I'm like, I put this expectation on that. Right. And I think COVID really ruined that. I think that really was a hard thing. And I just was like, some of these things you can't control. Yeah. So let's just make best of like the next efforts. You can't control the past. You can only control the future, and that's it. Yeah. Right. So that's it.
I think like alluding to something that Braden said, and also what you're saying about this concept of like expectations and like, you know, instead of being a few steps ahead and thinking about these types of things, just like, you know, being in this absolute split second moment and trying to make the best of this moment, and that's about it. Like that's just like, you know, there's like these Eastern philosophy kind of ways of just being, you know, and just kind of hey, let's just be
present.
And in this moment, and be the and just taking that one. And it's funny that it didn't come from so a lot of times people do things because it comes from like some form of external stimulus, but you have the kind of awareness to just like internally be like, this is something that I need to do, right? Which is like, and I think a lot of us have that guttural type of feeling, and they don't act on it. So the fact that you did act on it is something you should be really proud of, and I think we should do that more.
Yeah. I think so too. Yeah. But anyways, I'm in amends. 3 years done.
Wow, that's
down the drain.
That's huge.
And I don't like. And then it was really funny because at the end of the conversation, it got a little awkward. So I was like, okay, it's getting a little awkward because we were stopped talking about the children, and you knew it was either going to be a like, let's get into it, like get into the conversation, or let's just like stop. And I just kind of like mended it by the end. I just said, like my phone's always on. I love you, and I just thought I'd extend that olive branch. And then she said, I love you too. And then we hung up, and it was like perfect. It wasn't like, let's get into it.
Right.
And if we do get into it, it'll be when we're both ready.
Yeah, totally.
Right?
And and you don't know when that. So having that awareness is really key. So let's reflect back on this 100 episodes that we've done.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. Like, we've kind of, that was a deep swoon. This is don't do this on a first date.
Swoon.
Don't do that on a first date, everyone.
Okay.
Do not do that on a first date.
I'm gonna make it a big thing. This is for dating. So I just want to just make it. If you guys want the swoon cards, go to @swoon on Instagram, and they're only $30.
Oh wow.
Perfect.
And wait till your 100th date.
Yeah.
Just like we did.
Yeah, exactly.
So 100 days.
Yeah.
It's 100
episodes. Yeah.
100
So let's
days.
like reflect back, what they say, what's it,
What's your favorite episode?
my favorite episode. Oof.
What's your favorite episode, Graydon?
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Graydon?
You're going to put this on me.
I'm thinking of Graydon. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I love Graydon.
Probably, I don't know, probably the one where we drank that tequila. That was
Oh,
pretty fun.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I think the drinking ones are my highlights too.
So are we craving a drink?
Yeah. Oh,
3
yeah.
days in.
I know. Cold sweats. I think back to like how I think our first podcast till now, and for me it's like that journey of like, okay,
Yes.
just figuring things out and just hanging out, and it's just like we did it in my house for a long time.
Yes.
And
That's
having
fun.
you guys over.
Now there's
Yeah.
this sweet pad.
Now we have like this sweet setup.
I know, I feel like
here.
this is
I
so
feel like,
sweet.
Yeah, this is awesome. Yeah.
Graydon's like, I don't have to leave anywhere. It's awesome.
It's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Brayden was like lugging over all this
I
stuff,
know.
and then now we're here in this cool studio. But for me, in terms of like the single favorite episode, it would probably be either the drinking ones. We did one with Mary and Ken.
Oh my gosh.
Which was
Hey, Mary.
like I
Hey,
took
Ken.
note. Like I actually listened to that podcast after and was taking notes about what Ken and Mary were saying.
Wow.
And like it was like, okay, I gotta.
I'll just do
implement these
whatever they
things. And like their master list concept.
Yes.
They're like the
I like
Mary's kindness concept. I was like, oh
Kindness.
my god.
I know the kindness kind of.
Yeah, like and
So
so like I remember that one. One of our first podcast guests were the Scalina brothers.
Such a
and
memorable
that was a
one.
good one because I think
Memorable.
that's where we came up. That's where Brayden came up with the Podfather.
yeah.
Well, you guys came up
We
with it.
brought
and
it.
then
I did.
Stole it from
No,
you.
no.
No, I was a mic, I think.
But then that's like a cool turning point, right? Because maybe that was when Brayden planted a seed. Hey, that's like maybe I can make a company of this thing. Like,
Yeah.
maybe I don't know.
Maybe that domain name is available.
Yeah, exactly.
Podfather.
Yeah, and so that was a cool one too. Yeah, and like all the guest ones.
I
were
liked
cool too.
Adina.
Yeah,
But
Dina was
is
awesome.
so much
Yeah.
fun. I love Adina. I
Yeah.
think I got to really know her there. And
Yeah.
that was like, she's at HQ, so I don't see her all the time.
Yeah,
So you guys really knew her better. And because of that, I just like fell in love with her. Plus, she's just sweet. And I think,
but our most popular podcast is Pete's podcast, though, right? I think one of
Oh,
our most
yeah,
popular
that's
one
right.
was
Yeah.
Pete Schback's podcast.
Most
that we did.
popular guest.
Oh, that
Yeah,
was one of my
yes, yeah.
favorite
Yeah.
podcasts,
Yeah,
actually.
Pete's was good. Yeah,
Getting to know him better.
yeah. Every all the guests have been.
But I
awesome.
think also just like these type of podcasts is where we're just talking casually,
yeah.
getting a little deep. And I get a lot of people saying like, I really like to hear what you guys are listening to and what you guys are reading.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Which is, I think, a big thing right now.
I'm doing what are you reading right now? What do you listen to?
I'm reading a thing with Don Miguel. Do you know what Don Miguel runs?
Yeah, The Four Agreements?
Yeah.
I know that book.
And that is really, it's all about just like personal happiness, which I'm so like, be impeccable with your word. And I like love those key things that are really important for me. So,
well, maybe we can do an episode where you summarize it.
I could just summarize that.
Yeah. So The Four Agreements is a cool book. I've read it. I read it. I can't remember when, but yeah. And it's something that you can return to very regularly because it's a very short read. It's easy to grasp. But yeah, that's a cool one. For the book club, and it's actually been like I'm midstream in it right now. It's Jim Quick. His book is called Limitless, and it talks about how to approach learning and brain development in a little bit of a different way. Cool. So it's just tips on how to learn better. So he actually had a tragic brain accident when he was like a head trauma when he was a kid. So he didn't actually learn how to learn. And so he had a very hard time through school, had a really, really tricky kind of academic upbringing. And then so he basically, but there's no, like in school, they're like, just try harder. But then he wanted to learn, how do I like get better at learning? So it's a book that we're doing at book club right now. And
Limitless, guys.
Limitless by Jim Quick. So I'm listening to it right now. And yeah, it's been good.
What about you?
What am I? I think my favorite book I read last year, and I got to get into it again, is Built to Sell. And then I'm also re-listening to Atomic Habits.
Oh
yeah,
Atomic
James Clear.
Habits,
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah, James Clear.
So
That's
good.
very good.
Very good book.
So good.
Good. I'm like listening to a lot of it. Like I put it on while I'm like playing with my kids in the morning because they're just like, no. And I'm like, I'm listening and having a coffee while doing all this at the same time. But I think it'll be good. Oh, a lot of people have asked me, what is your number one financial literacy book? What is yours?
Ooh, this is something I need.
Yeah, so I like simple principles.
Yes.
I really like simplicity.
Yes.
So The Richest Man in Babylon is like, basically, it's so easy to read.
Easy.
And it just frames it out in terms of like proportioning out savings versus expenditures and kind of like makes it very simple.
Don't you feel like it's a little bit kind of old school now?
Oh yeah, it's super old school.
So
but
old
it
school.
works.
It works.
Like,
I know, whatever.
You know, if you it works. Yeah, so that's a great one. I can't like, and there's so many. Wealthy Barber is great.
The Richest Dad, Poor Dad. That's like my go-to.
Yeah, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki.
That's one
the
you should
Compound
just
Effect
listen.
is just like, Darren Hardy. It's just, there's so many good ones. Yeah, I read the Tony. Like, I'm a big Tony Robbins nut, but his investor book, Money. Master the Game is kind of like
too dry for me.
It's really dry, and I feel like there's like special interests involved in it. It's like he is like specifically interested in like the S&P 500 and Vanguard, like kind of like doing, but he's heavily invested in those things too. So it feels like it's kind of like slanted in that direction. Really, but I'm a real estate guy, so I'm like kind of like, you know.
Well, that's the question is you have to look for literacy what you work with. For me, I'm a real estate girl, so I'm like I want real estate to invest in, where to invest.
Yeah, like, you know, Morgan and I are the same. We're like, you know, heavily invested in real estate, and we diversify with very small proportions in other methods.
Yeah.
But like
heavy in real estate.
Estate, like that. But I'm maybe that's the incorrect way, but that's basically what we do. What I do. Yeah.
I think that's a great way for people to get started for 2022. 100 episodes. You guys, I really want to hear from you. If you can put into your reviews what you guys would like to hear in 2022. We're all about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So free coaster with that.
We shouldn't make that a punchline. We should the covet the coaster. Okay, guys.
Yeah. Thanks so much again for listening. 100 episodes.
100 episodes down.
The big 100.
I'm going to do Cruella de Vil for 101 next.
The Dalmatian. She's going to bring her mink coat and just float around in it.
That's my favorite movie.
Okay, guys, on that note, thank you so much for listening to the Oakwyn podcast, and thank you for listening to all 100 episodes. If you listen to the 100 episodes, That's pretty amazing. That's a long time. And write us a review if you get it. And if you're interested in learning more about Oakwyn and you're listening to the podcast, go to our website at oakwyn.com/join, type into the message box Evolve 2022, and you'll get a free piece of mystery swag. Okay, guys, thanks so much for listening.
Thanks so much. Bye-bye.